I remember the first one I played in. I can close my eyes and remember how cold it was, like 12 degrees and fog and sleet in my final game over there. Well, how about this? This is a totally unique Dawg Talk with Brock this week, huh?
Yeah, it is unique because it ain't just Dawg Talk, homie. It's Apple Cup weekend. What's up, Brock?
How you doing, Bump? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm, a little nervous for this week. Last year, I was a bit more confident, but you know what? It's Apple Cup. Let's see how this thing turns out.
Does this still stir it up? Can we be real? Before we get into last year and this year and everything else, like as we're sitting here, does it still stir it up the way it used to stir it up?
I think for fans it might, but I think for guys like you and I who kind of look at this thing from 30,000 feet up and realize just the direction that both programs are going, not as much, but there's still the competitiveness that's in you and I that want to see our teams do our thing. But with all the change that's happening, it's the picture is pretty clear for me this year. What about you?
It is, and I see you wearing your maroon hat, and I put on my husky purple with the old school. Oh, look at that!
You can't call it maroon. It's crimson, Brock. It's crimson.
I'm sorry, your maroon hat. Seeing you wearing that maroon and gray, that crimson and gray hat, and I don't know, Bump. I jumped on with our sister station there on the FM side in the building, and they're throwing Samoan Jack Thompson. For me, this game goes back to him, to Warren Moon, to Tim Rosenbach, to Ryan Leaf, to Mark Brunell, to Billy Joe, to Dan. Like, it just goes back generationally. And I'm kind of stung and hurt, to be honest, that just this generation of Huskies and Cougs don't know their Huskies and Cougs the way we did. When you were watching them, when you were watching Drew Bledsoe throw in a snowstorm to Bobo on the other end of it and beat my Huskies to knock us out of a Rose Bowl, and the 97 game that I threw, 9 interceptions, something like that, pretty close. It felt that way to Lamont Thompson and the rest of those Cougs as they went to their first Rose Bowl in 65 years. It just stings me. You and I can have a whole lot of fun, and Huskies and Cougs will this week, but it just stings me that this generation doesn't get that attachment to the generational, century-old nature of what this used to be to end every season.
Yeah, you said it, to end every season. It's like the tradition is trying to leave, and we're fighting just to hold on to whatever we have left. You're playing a game in September. I preferred being cold and having my beanie on and my big jacket. I can watch this game in shorts, man. It's kind of weird to be able to watch the Apple Cup in shorts, but as we kind of lose something, there's an opportunity for this new generation to, I guess, create their own. But it's up to them, right? They got to buy in to what this game is and what it means for the old heads like you and I.
I mean, thank God it is in at least one of the two teams' venues. I mean, last year just felt wrong to me. I didn't even call it the Apple Cup. It's being played off-site. It's being played in September. None of it felt right to me. And obviously the ending of last year with stopping the Huskies at the 1-yard line multiple times, John Mateer doing his thing. I mean, last year was an enormous win for you guys, and it doesn't diminish it because I didn't call it the Apple Cup. But at least this year, it's going to be played over there where it should be played, just like it should be played in Husky Stadium. It should be played over there on the Palouse. What do you anticipate the venom and the emotion and the passion? Because this is the first time since the breakup that the Huskies will be back in your house. Do you anticipate a pretty heated environment?
I think so, man. I think like the student body is going to be bought into it. The hard part about our squad, bro, we got 70 new guys on this roster, a lot of them from South Dakota. And, when I was a freshman, a guy coming from California, I didn't really understand the Apple Cup until I played in it, and I could lean on seniors like Hamza Abdullah, Carl Pema, Will Durding, Scotty Davis to really put it in perspective. With 70 new guys, you're relying on like 3 or 4 guys on this roster to kind of put this thing in perspective. So I think the fans will be into it because these are young kids and alumni who have grown up watching this game and understand what it is. But I think running out the tunnel is when these guys, the 70 new guys on the roster, will kind of feel what it really means. You can hype it up all you want to throughout the week, but once you get out there, you start to feel it, and hopefully they snap into it. On your end, I would assume it's a bit different for the Huskies. You guys are the Big Ten, bigger program. You guys have college football playoffs aspirations. How do you think these guys are looking at this game?
Yeah, I think a lot of them remember the sting of this one last year. Like this one was was one they look back on and go, man, that should have never happened. Should have found a way to win that one in year one with Jed Fish, and then the way it ended on top of it. But you know how crazy this matchup is this year? Not only the 70 new Cougs and new head coach, you realize that the Huskies' leading tackler was a Coug last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how crazy and transactional this thing has become. At one time was generational. Today it's transactional.
Mm-hmm.
Your lead, you had 6 tackles in this game last year, and now he's putting on the purple and gold, going back to Pullman. I mean, I just try to put myself in that spot, like how crazy that is, right? As a player, like, yeah, man, I played 3 years at Washington, and then my last year, you know what? Transfer over to Wazoo, and now I run out the tunnel to be a Coug. Like, what? I mean,
Could
it's just
imagine?
no.
Go back-to-back years winning the Apple Cup.
No, I can't imagine. But I will say this before we get to this matchup and what it means. To me, and Bud Withers just came out with a book on the Apple Cup, and I think I chatted with him like 5 years ago. And even then, there is not a game and set of games, Bump, in my career, from high school to college to the NFL, that I can remember as vividly as every single Apple Cup.
Right.
I remember the first one I played in, Corey Dillon wearing a scuba diving suit and getting cramps and being up like 20-0 and having to come back and win in overtime. I remember losing, obviously, in every detail of that loss in Husky Stadium, from Ryan Leaf running by me in pregame. I mean, literally, I can close my eyes and remember how cold it was, like 12 degrees and fog and sleet in my final game over there. I remember more details of this game and those set of games than I do any other I ever played. Similar for you?
Yeah, I agree. You know, I've played in some big venues, right? We went to Wisconsin my senior year. We went to Auburn my junior year, and football was different. But you're right, and I remember my freshman year going out there, beating the Huskies, having Will Durden being carried off the field like the champion he is. The Palouse water smell was evident as the students rushed the field. I remember my sophomore year thinking we won that game. Husky receiver drops the football, kicks it up to himself. The defense stops. He runs in for a touchdown. We lose that one. Marcel Reese running down the sideline for a big game. I remember my junior year, didn't play in that one, had a high ankle sprain. Trendon Harvey scored the touchdown. Greg Prater blocking for him on a screen down the sideline. Then my senior year, the drive, Alex Brink hitting me a couple times and then finish it off with Brandon Gibson, one of the greats, over the top. So, yeah, there's nothing like it, man. I've been in this state 21 years now. So I'm officially a Washingtonian, and I look forward to this matchup every year.
That's nearly half your life, right?
Yeah, more than half now.
I didn't say that. That was the gray in your goatee that said that right there. The crimson and the gray. So this matchup Saturday, point spread's huge. The loss last weekend in Denton, Texas was, I just couldn't even believe that final score. This matchup, if the Cougars somehow, and I think it's up to a 20-point spread, but if they somehow cover that spread and somehow pull off one of what I think would be one of the biggest upsets, certainly in recent memory with that kind of spread, if the Cougs were to get it done, how is that possible?
Well, you got to stop Mr. Coleman. $177 1 week, $111 the next week, 5 touchdowns 1 week, 3 the other. I mean, he's one of the, if not the best running back in the country right now. And you combine that with the mobility of Williams, your QB, in the backfield. It's about stopping the run. Not to say that the Huskies can't throw the football. You got Boston on the outside, who's a great receiver as well. But I'd rather have the Huskies have to beat us that way rather than control us on the ground. So I'm looking at McKenna, our Mike linebacker. He's got to have a day. He's got to have 15, 20 tackles and then try to contain Coleman. And to me, containing Coleman means he doesn't have 4 touchdowns. He's going to get his, man. He'll have 90 to 110 yards, but it's about containing him and then not allowing Williams to get outside the pocket and be dynamic. Yeah. You know, he's not a big quarterback, as you know, 5'11", about $190, but he can make every throw, and he's mobile as heck, man. The run game really stresses out a defense. Yep. If we're going to lose, I'd rather us lose going over the top and having them have to force the ball down the football field, because there's nothing like getting beat up on the ground. We know it's going to take a heroic effort from our 70 transfers from South Dakota and our undersized linebackers, but you never really know. So I'm going to leave it up to the Apple Cup gods to bless us with a win. On the other end, you Huskies, I like what you're doing on defense. Defense is getting better. Offensively, I love how you guys pack it in with 12 personnel, even some 13 sometimes. How do you guys get it done?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool here in town in Seattle to watch our Seahawks, which you and I are on the same team of, and watch those guys put things together. Bump, I know you and I would text each other a fair amount last year and over the years with some frustrations with the Seahawks. Like, man, it is just a Rolodex offense. Like, what are you? What is your identity, and why do you sit in the shotgun all the time? And I think for both Seattle, it's a little different. Fish is not quite from the Kubiak or Shanahan trees, from like every tree there is. He's got a lot of background, but they tie it together well. That's what I enjoy watching them tie together their personnel groups, their run game, their play action game, really put defenses in conflict and burden. You don't know what's coming at you. And Jonah is like, have you ever seen him in person? Have you ever seen Jonah? He's not a human. Like, his legs and his backside and everything. I mean, he reminds me of a Super Mario Brothers turtle shell trying to tackle, and he just destroys bricks and destroys everything in his sight. And yeah, if you don't contain him, you're not going to have really a chance. And I think that spread will be in play. But then the danger is, the QB is fastest player on the team. I mean, if on the field, miles per hour, he's the fastest guy on the team. So that is a 1-2 punch. The way the Cougs have a chance is to somehow early keep this thing close. So all of the pressure is on who? The team traveling from the west side, and then the fans, and then the passion, and then the emotion, and then you can get those folks all involved at a fever pitch for the first road trip for this Husky team, right? They haven't gone on the road. You went on the road last week, and you saw how hard it can be in certain environments. So got to keep this thing close. If you're a Coug, if you're a Husky, you got to punch them right in the mouth early. You got to get ahead. You got to put that doubt in them. You got to remind them of what happened the week before. And, you got to make them pay not only Saturday, but for the loss a season ago as well.
I just can't wait to see who our quarterback is. Coach Rogers says he knows who it is, but he's not telling anybody yet. Will it be Potter? Will it be
who do you want?
Young freshman? We shall see. So I think whoever the quarterback is, it does change the game plan a little bit. So I think that's what he's holding on to and say, look, we don't want the Huskies to prepare for a certain type of guy. So that's what underdogs do. You got to keep the favorites guessing.
Yeah, little brother's always got to try to do that.
Hey, I got 3 though, so I'm
appreciate you, Bump.
All right, man. Take care, bro.